So guys, we had our predictions episode. Robin, you asked our listeners and our viewers to send us their 2026 predictions, and we had some tasty ones.
Nice.
We did. So we thought we'd just read out some of our faves. Do you want to go first?
I'd love to. So this is from Harry Wallace. Hi, Harry Wallace, who says, "Hi guys, to add on to the prediction of Elida Morgan doing a song with the Japanese ambassador, a lot of the time in Zambian elections, parties make campaign songs. Could be something she might try to target the youth votes."
Do like a little rap or something.
It definitely would be a rap, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
It would start with yo, yo, yo.
Oh no, do you know what? You'd hate it. It would get Arts Council funding. You'd hate it.
It would get Arts Council funding.
You'd hate it.
Yeah, I put in a lot of freedom of information requests about it. I like this. I love when football teams make the FA Cup and they release like an FA Cup song. I like a World Cup song. I think that could be quite fun.
Also, Elida is like the kind of person with enough energy about her to do something like this.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. Yeah, she'd have the confidence to do it. I think she'd do it well. She'd throw herself completely into it.
She's not embarrassed.
I think she could do it. I think she would do it. I think by some definition she'd do it well. I think it would make me want to chop off my own face.
Yeah.
Vote for me, Elida Morgan, hospital waiting list for all of your organs. Spitting fire.
Spitting fire over there.
What about you, Mel? Any predictions jump out?
Yes. So there was one here from Ben Harris, and he said, "I don't think we've seen the end of Welsh Labour. They've been so successful historically in Wales. I don't think they will just fade away to nothing. They'll do terribly in the next Senedd election, but once out of power, they will slowly recover." And then he does give his reasons, but I do think that is a very fair point because, you know, when you've been so successful historically, it would be so dramatic for one election to cut you out. So I do think Ben makes a really good point.
Yeah, I think in my lifetime, obviously, you saw, the first kind of election that I could vote in was that Nick Clegg Lib Dem and then went into the coalition. And then that took 10, 15 years for them to sort of like slowly gain trust back. And I guess the political system changes as well.
Yeah.
It would be, I suppose, silly to think this is the death of a political party. You just don't know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But equally, you don't know where politics is going in terms of vibes, morality, all of it,
Yeah.
I think the same could be said as well for the Conservatives in Westminster. I don't think they're dead. I think they're rebuilding.
Yeah, I mean, if over the last 100 years in UK elections you bet on the Conservatives and in Welsh elections you bet on Labour, you'd have won most of the time. So he does make one interesting point about Scotland and the difference between Wales and Scotland. Obviously, in Scotland, people are divided a bit more between pro-independence and anti-independence, right. Whereas in Wales, there's people pro-independence and there's just kind of everyone else who don't really engage with it. If you had a sustained Plaid Cymru government, that divide between pro-Indie and not Indie could be somewhere which could give Labour a boost if they were the anti-Indie option on the left, potentially.
Yeah, good point. Well, how about you? Did you have a prediction that you loved?
At Unni sent us a prediction saying that the margin of majority in the election will be so narrow between Plaid and Reform that a few Tory MSs will defect to Reform post-election in order to give them a majority over Plaid.
Ooh, that's a spicy one.
So people, I checked this in the rules. People are able to defect under the new system. There's slight rules about creating a new party group, but it would be fine for Tories to defect over to Reform. I think the problem is that I think there would definitely be able to be Tories who would go to Reform, which would put them ahead of Plaid or further ahead of Plaid. I think at the moment the maths doesn't suggest that even the Tories, all of the Tories and all of the Reform together would be enough for a majority in the Senedd. But they might have more than Plaid.
Interesting. Some really good predictions, guys. Thank you so much for sending them in.
Yeah, always keep them coming as well. We really
Please do.
enjoy them.
Yeah, absolutely.